Good day and good evening to you all. We're back, bringing you guys the Week 3 match of the GBA against the one and only Fizzy Stardust, aka the man who brave birds everything, except I don't see many birds on his team this year. But yeah, this match I looked forward to. I think Fizzy's a great addition to the GBA and a real good guy. Uh, Very funny. I like him. So this match, unfortunately, DC'd on us the first time, and that really upset me because we were about 15 minutes into the match. We were still 6-6, and I was. Now, I said this last week as well, but I couldn't get a foothold into John's team, and it was very common with Fizzy as well. Reason being, if you looked at my team preview, you saw that I had 3 or 4 Pokemon weak to at least electric type attacks or steel type attacks, and if you notice, he has a Magnezone. So, I couldn't bring Scissor in because it would be trapped. Starmie would get hurt by a T-Bolt. Kyurem, Flash Cannon, Mandibuzz, T-Bolt. I was starting to get a foothold, and when I say that, I mean, I had knocked off the Magnezone. We realized later in this match that he has Assault Vest, or at least in the last match he did, and it is the same thing in this one. Mandibuzz never got tricked, as you just saw. I actually got a nice amount of damage off on this Aggron without being tricked. I went for foul plays. Now, if you see, it does a fair chunk of damage, but he was down like in the red, in our first battle. In addition, Aggron and Chandelure were also at low HP, so they were much more manageable. But I'm not going to complain about. Well, I will complain about the DC. DCs, I think, are my biggest nightmare in the GBA, because I lose all my momentum, and I can't really recover from it. And what are you going to do after your opponent knows your team and understands, okay, well, he has this to handle this and this to switch into that. And I mean, in this case, if you look at this match, you're going to see that I switch in Latias a lot on his Magnezone, but I can't do anything to it. Like, unless I go for a lot of Calm Minds, I can't actually do much to it. And unless and you see he talks it, so now it has a lifespan, and I didn't break Florges, so obviously I have no aromatherapy. But unless I got like a few Calm Minds up, I wasn't able to take that Magnezone out. And he also had Chandelure. Now, I thought it was Specs at first, so I was very worried. But, besides that, I had a few other, real big mistakes. Like I said about the Magnezone, I didn't prep right, I don't think. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about this match right a lot because I don't even remember what was happening. After the DC, I was kind of in a delirious state, and kind of just didn't really know what to do anymore after I lost all that, that kind of surprise factor. But one thing I will say about myself right here is that if I did go for Side Shock on this Gudra, maybe I could have KO'd. I think I could have, because after you saw how much the first one did, I thought the second one could have did a fair amount of damage, and maybe even knocked it out, which would have helped. At least it would have helped my differential. I mean, if anything. But the one thing I definitely made a big mistake on was I may have prepped my team to handle what I expected him to bring, but the one thing I didn't handle was what I could switch in to his Pokemon. Like, as you see, I'm like, oh, he'll go for T-Bolt because Starmie was out. Yeah, but Kyurem still takes a stupid amount of damage, and even then, I kind of knew. I was like, well, if I'm going to bring this Kyurem in, this Kyurem was a substitute set. And here I should have predicted this. I am such a fucking moron. I should have went for Ice Beam. Would did a lot of damage. Not kill the Aerodactyl, but would did a lot of damage. Play was so obvious. See, this is what I'm talking about. I predicted, I prepared for what I thought my team could handle, but I never looked at what my team can handle switching into, which I know is a huge aspect of this league. And I think that was a big, overlook on my part, and it's something I definitely need to learn for the rest of the league, because obviously this season we have a lot of heavy hitting teams that are definitely going to make some waves and bring a lot to the table, which I appreciate. Fizzy, Cooper, even John, obviously not being an expansion team, but being a team that is coming in. A lot of good teams that I really do appreciate. For how good they are and how much they bring to the teams that they hold for the GBA. But I always say this, and I've been saying this a lot, But I'm learning, and I know obviously we're already into week 3 of the GBA, and I should know some of these things, but I can't really help it. I'm gonna make another excuse as well. Uh, this week was kind of a bad week. I just had a lot on my plate. Working 10 days in a row, some family stuff, among other things. And if you're just curious why I'm not talking about the matches, and also about my switches, is because I don't really understand some of my switches. Some of these switches that I made were absolute just trash. Like if you look at, bringing Latias in on that Aerodactyl, or bringing Hurim in, and Scissor into this. Like if he had HP Fire, he could have just said, fuck you, Scissor, and just killed me. So I'm sorry, guys. I really am. So I wish I could have played better. I think if the DC hadn't happened, I think it would have been a match that was actually, good. I'm not going to say I would have won, but I definitely would have said that it would have been a little bit more watchable and a little bit, and you could understand, and I could have actually had a thought process as to why I played the way that I did, because I think, the way I'm showing you the battle right now, the battle was just kind of, I don't know, it was hard to watch for me to watch back again, which is why I'm not really narrating it, because I can't express why I made certain plays, or why I chose to switch certain Pokemon into other Pokemon. I can't really express that because at the moment after our DC, I just kind of it wasn't as bad as the battle against Gubs, where I was just so distraught and so just disheveled. I was just like, fuck this noise, and I kind of essentially flipped the table. But it was close because I knew that this Aerodactyl, every time it switched in, I had to choose something to die. But I couldn't even do anything about it because, whatever I brought in, unless it was Scissor, couldn't take it out because nothing outsped it. And this thing he told me afterward was Muscle Banded. So obviously I thought it was like Choice Banded or something. So obviously it could take out whatever it wanted and then switch up moves. Which you see he abuses. No, he doesn't actually. Never mind. Oh, right. Okay, here he brings in the Aggron. I made a dumb choice switching. If I went for Superpower here, I probably could have got another kill with Aggron. The one thing I will say about Scissor here is that he does get, one kill, so it puts him at 6-1. So I'm not complaining about that much, but I am complaining about the way that I played and how poor it was. And even though I team structured well, I didn't look at how my team worked overall, about weaknesses, or about how my weather could be abused, especially, or even about what I could use to bring for switches. If I knew he was going to bring Magnezone for Scissor, I should have brought Swampert so I could counter the Steel and the Electric and even the Fire moves. I think Fizzy definitely outplayed me here, and I give him all the props in the world. I know I'm not really talking about the match much, but I will say that Fizzy did a great job in this match. He definitely brought the best team possible. He told me this Aerodactyl was clutch, and it was. It really was. He outplayed my team. My team was solid, but it wasn't. It couldn't handle what I expected it to, and it couldn't take care of what I needed it to. So Sharpedos fall 2-1. I'll play better next week. It's against the Maple Leafeons, who've crawled back after losing the first week. Am I thinking it's the Utah Jazz? Oh no. No, next week I'm looking forward to playing the Leafeons. Should be a good match. I actually have the team right here on my desktop, and I'm going to look at what to expect, and hopefully I'll prep better because I want to give you guys good matches, and I want to showcase that I'm not absolute garbage here, but learning process and all that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I know I didn't talk much about the battle. Just this battle upset me, and it really left me real digging feeling in my stomach. But I will talk to you guys later, and yeah, we'll swing back from this. I promise. Thanks, guys.